know it's going to be hard for people to follow along with what I'm trying to get at in this series of videos. But trust me, at the other end, it's going to come back to the toxic culture embedded in police culture. And I do plan to have a clinical psychologist who specialises in psychophysiology come and talk with us about this specific topic and how it relates to Officer John O'Keefe's death and the cover-up that ensued, all the way up to Commissioner Cox. But before we get there, I am analysing not just one case, but a number of cases to dissect how silence is controlled, or in some cases punished, or rewritten depending on who holds the power in the social hierarchy. These concepts are going to span one woman's silence after surviving a system that almost broke her, and now that silence being enough to turn the mob, or the crowd, against her that once defended her. In the previous video, we looked through the first lens, the Nina Lynn case. What we see there is protective silence. What we see with mainstream media coverage of the Nina Lynn case is they're calling it sexual harassment, and they're reframing our outrage over lack of action as creating drama. Which raises the question, why is the media minimising certain harms? What is the power dynamic here? Let's first turn to the media and see what they're saying to unpack this dynamic. So this is from MSN, and this is what they're reporting. Nina Lynn, a popular Twitch streamer, has been unbanned on Twitch after 1 week suspension that stirred a huge debate online. Her channel was first banned on October 24th after videos from a May 2024 live stream showed her and another streamer, Zoe Spencer, touching a production team member named Saeed without his consent. The incident led to serious accusations of sexual harassment and drew massive backlash across the Twitch community. At first, Twitch lifted Nina Lynn's ban just 1 day later, on October 25th, which made many users angry. They felt the platform acted too quickly to forgive her. When more old clips surfaced showing similar behaviour, Twitch banned her again on October 30th. Now after 1 week, her channel has been unbanned, but the controversy around her name still hasn't gone away. Many viewers and streamers are still upset with Twitch, saying the company isn't handling such serious behaviour properly. Famous Twitch streamers like Disguised Toast and Valkyrie spoke about Nina Lynn's actions and Twitch's handling of the bans. Disguised Toast shared that he once felt uncomfortable when Nina Lynn interrupted his massage during a sponsored event and touched him without permission. Valkyrie also said she felt uneasy watching the video of Nina and Zoe Spencer touching Saeed during the FaZe Clan livestream. Nina Lynn later apologised during a livestream, saying that she thought it was all a joke and did not mean to hurt anyone. But many viewers didn't accept her apology, saying what happened was serious and not something to be laughed off. Which she did. She laughed it off. She didn't apologise. Or at the very best, it was disingenuous. After her first ban was lifted too soon, many creators, including Disguised Toast, said Twitch needed to take such incidents more seriously. They asked for stricter rules to make sure everyone, creators, fans and production staff, feels safe during live events. Right now, Nina Lynn's channel is visible again, but is still under review for breaking Twitch's community guidelines. Many people are closely watching what Twitch does next. This case has become a big reminder that consent and respect are important, both on and off camera. Twitch users and creators want the platform to take stronger steps to protect its community and ensure safety for everyone on the platform. Now, while this article does play down creator drama, and at least provides two sides to the story, they're still playing down her actions as sexual harassment. And that's part of what has upset the community, that when a female does it, it's played down rather than what it actually was. TMZ frames it as more like she's a victim of creator drama. They say Twitch streamer Nina Lynn has been reinstated on Twitter after a week-long ban. She exclusively tells TMZ she's excited for her future despite the recent backlash. Her statement to TMZ was, "Going forward, we have to be better, and I realise that there are a lot of people watching me and looking up to me. Whatever happened, happened, and I'm here to make my supporters proud. I have a lot of good things in store and I can't wait for everyone to see them." So what's missing from TMZ's exclusive? The thing that she's getting backlash for, right? Playing it down. Oh, she's a victim. News on the Kick website, WinGG Kick, says why Asmongold and Nina Lynn are in drama after Lynn's Twitch unban. Kick streamer Zach Asman Hoyt has made clear his issue with Nina Daddy is back, Lynn, and the handling of her ban on Twitch, and the resulting back and forth between the two has resulted in outright feuding and public drama. Nina Lynn was banned from Twitch following a resurfaced clip of her apparently harassing FaZe clan member Saeed. Many fans called for the streamer to face consequences for her actions, and she was soon banned from the streaming platform. But those same fans were displeased with Twitch only taking actions months after the incident went viral. This upset sentiment increased after Twitch unbanned Nina Lynn just a short time later. Nina was quickly banned again, only to return to Twitch yet again shortly after that. Asmongold publicly reacted to Nina Lynn's unban and Twitch's stance on her behaviour, kicking off drama between the two streamers. It goes on, how did the drama between Asmongold and Nina Lynn start? Well, we all now know it started because she sexually assaulted someone. But according to this author, Kick streamer Asmongold reacted to a social media post announcing Nina Lynn's return to Twitch, questioning how her documented harassment, again downplaying what actually happened, had only resulted in a 1-week ban. This led to Nina Lynn responding, and a bit of back and forth between Asmongold and Lynn was underway. It goes on, he said, she said, he clapped back, blah blah blah, keeping the drama alive and viewers online engaged. So again, why does the media minimise certain harms? Is it because she's a woman? Is it because they need to protect her? Or is it because institutions often protect themselves first? Silence here, in this situation, is comfort disguised as virtue. When institutions cover up the wrongdoing of others, it's not neutrality, it's complicity. They could be saying what we're saying. Yeah, the police should be getting involved in this. They're supposed to hold the powerful to account, aren't they? So that's the first lens of how silence operates differently when it's institutionally protective silence, where the media softens Nina Lynn's offences and discourages the public outrage under the guise of avoiding drama, ultimately maintaining social comfort rather than justice. In all the cases that we're looking at, though, we're still focusing on how silence is exploited to sustain power. It's about who controls the narrative vacuum, because once silence enters, someone always rushes to fill it, right? And that's rarely the powerless. In the Nina Lynn case, nobody's speaking up for the victim, except Asmongold and some of us. And the institutional power wants to play it down. So what we're looking at is when silence becomes currency, when it's traded, coerced, or weaponized in the marketplace of social power. This brings us to the second lens that I'd like to shine a light on in this video. Through this lens, we see Aidan Carney, aka Turtle Boy, and Corey Hopkins, aka Madbury vs. Mad. Through this angle, we see coercive silence. This is where the state tries to reclaim control of the narrative by redefining what's permissible truth. For those who are unfamiliar, Aidan Carney is a journalist who covered the Karen Reid case, and Corey Hopkins is an out-of-state attorney who is trying to FOIA the court documents from the second trial, including all the sidebars. And we all know what's going on in those sidebars. It doesn't paint Auntie Bev in a very good light. Through this lens, we start to understand that silence is no longer an accident, it's now a weapon. We have on one hand a FOIA attorney who did what journalists used to be celebrated for. She went looking for the truth in the official court record. Her only crime is making public what was already meant to be public, records that belong to the people. But in a world where narrative control is the currency, that ain't cricket, as we say in Australia. So now she's accused of not falsifying data, which we've utterly proved that they did, but of sharing it. And the system, aka D.A. Morrissey and his band of cronies, respond like an immune system reacting to exposure. Instead of answering, it attacks. And standing in the middle of it all, caught in the same gravitational pull, is citizen journalist Aidan Carney, whose dogged pursuit of the Karen Reid case once helped him illuminate deep cracks in local power. Whatever you think of him or his methods, his impact was undeniable. But the state's response to him, trying to tie him and his coverage to an alleged conspiracy to intimidate witnesses, is something far more insidious. Because those charges aren't just about him. They're a signal to every independent investigator, creator, or citizen who might think about lifting the rug to see what's under it. If you speak too loudly, we will call your speech a crime. If we zoom out from all the drama, you can see the patterns emerge, whether it's the FOIA attorney digging through court records or a creator connecting the dots that the mainstream media refuses to touch. The result is the same. The narrative must be reclaimed and silence must be restored. The irony, of course, is no better said than in Attorney Benaro's own words.
I take difference to that because I do still have cases pending in the superior courts in Massachusetts. And I've said, in my own personal experience over 3 decades, I've had fairly good experiences in the district and the superior courts in Massachusetts. So let's not paint the whole state that it's rotten. Let's not paint the whole system as corrupt. And I see it in my comments, and you're fine. You can say whatever you want in my comments section as long as you refrain from George Carlin's 7 dirty words. But I see that all the time. Oh, the whole state's corrupt, and it's not.
That's the problem. See, what I'm talking about is the public perception. And when when you deprive the public of seeing how court proceedings work and deprive it of open proceedings, it's going to invite people to think that it's corrupt. And the reality is a lot of people think it is. A lot of people think that the judge in Karen's case was corrupt. They think the whole thing is corrupt. And I think that may be a bridge too far. But when you shield information from public view, that's the perception people are going to get.
There's a second irony in this clip, and that is that lawyers who still have to practice, and some in Massachusetts, don't get the opportunity to fully voice what they're really thinking. It's not because they're dishonest, it's because there is a code of silence. The last thing you want is all your cases tanking because you were rude about one other judge and the judge you're in front of now took it to heart or thinks you have behaved unprofessionally. From here we move to the third lens, silence as a spectacle. This is where silence isn't just a strategy, it's a stage. Every guessed, every withheld word, every absence is interpreted as either guilt or defiance or whatever you want to put in the middle. Karen goes quiet. Maybe on the advice of counsel, maybe out of exhaustion, maybe even both. Maybe because she knows whatever she says will be weaponized either way, since that's been her experience for the past 4 years. But silence in this culture, with us as the spectators, doesn't protect you. It gets filled. It gets filled by media, by influence, by prosecutors, by the mob, everyone rushing to narrate your silence for you. And here's where the real inversion happens. That same social hierarchy that protects those in power when they stay silent, the police who won't answer questions, the DA who withholds records, the state that hides evidence. When a state goes silent, that's highly suspicious. When Karen goes silent, that's suspicious too, and so the void gets filled. Meanwhile, those who did speak on her behalf, journalists, creators, even lawyers, are being painted as dangerous conspirators. Corey Hopkins, once a civil transparency advocate, now finds herself branded an enemy of the state. Aidan Carney, who once lauded for exposing police corruption, is now recast as a ringleader in an alleged intimidation plot. The message is unmistakable. Speak and we'll make sure you are part of the problem. At this point, some of you will see how this goes full circle. I spoke up and they made sure I'm part of the problem. It's all part of the paradox, right? The absence of answers becomes entertainment. Every sealed document, every refused comment, every ambiguous post fills a new round of speculation. Silence becomes spectacle. Outrage becomes currency. Whether it's a smear campaign online or a courtroom trial offline, the power structure thrives when the mob divides itself. The moment the citizens turn on each other, creators against creators, advocates against victims, the real power brokers get exactly what they want: chaos instead of consensus. Because it's only in chaos that they hold the power to begin with. And the tragedy is that truth doesn't die because it's disproven. It dies because it gets drowned by noise, by infighting, by performative outrage. And the only antidote is collective clarity, by recognizing the structure behind the chaos. What do these three things have in common? The institutional silence, mainstream media and their public relations machine. The legal silence, trying to silence Total Boy and Madbury Mad. And the social silence, the mob pressure to not speak about things that are actually happening, even if they're happening to you. What do they have in common? Each rewards compliance and punishes deviation. And that, my friends, is how the powerful maintain control, by deciding who gets to speak and what meaning their words or even silence carries. The antidote to division isn't louder shouting. It's learning to hear what demands for silence is trying to tell us. We don't need to agree on every single detail, but we should agree with one thing: that truth, transparency, and respect for each other's humanity and rights matter more than the power to control the narrative. In the next video, we're going to look at how some of these power structures, or the social hierarchy if you prefer, played out during the two trials. And we'll try to identify some of these power dynamics through testimony. I'm not claiming I'm going to be good at it. That's why I'm going to invite someone here to talk about it with us, because I obviously have the disadvantage of being Asperger's. Anyway, the next video should tie it all together in a nice neat little bow for you. So hang in there.